Did the Queen summon everyone to the palace?
Akira, I've never seen Aruihi run so fast.
Do you think the Audra Colossus would come here next?
Pray to Kahopa, it does not.
I have already dislodged one trespasser from my head. I've no interest in another.
Sorry, lad. Thought that chip on your shoulder were for all to see.
Do you ever have a thought and just decide to keep it to yourself?
More'n you know, my dearin' mate. More'n you know.
Barati pays coin to feed the great eel.
You songwriters need a guild if you hope to learn discipline.
Not so. We speak in the tongue of Ngati and Amira. Your pretty dances may upset the puddle, but we command the wind and sky.
Hello there! Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise. Yes? Gladly, my friend, gladly! And how kind of you to ask. I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What else brings faraway travelers to the archipelago? Adventure. I've nursed a great love for heroic tales since my boyhood. As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am. And though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map. So I've taken to charting the interior wilderness of the Deadfire's larger islands. Ah, but it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do. Gladly, my friend. I consider it a boon. What else? So here I am. Ah, but true. Anyway, enough of my... Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper? Well, I'll be here if you change your mind.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
Cantanichese. I'm acquainted with the Watcher of Cadnua from my assignments in Defiance Bay and Twin Elms.
Diverus? It explains the colorful nature of your reports.
I have seen things with him that are not even told in the most outlandish of sailors' tales.
And I'm supposed to take 2 Valians at their word?
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court. The Lady of Doors must have great confidence in you. Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain, a fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire? How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hisongo. Set sail to the west of Neketaka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Hisongo is a Rawatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
And shut us out entirely? We have every right to know of any hazards in these waters. Palagina, go with the Watcher. See that the Republics are served in this investigation.
Ah, Your Excellency. Pamed Kongswalias.
That will be enough parading of champions for now. I'm certain that our guest knows how to assemble a crew. Akira, if you can stand the chattering of unlike minds on your ship, that is your prerogative.
Well, good thing I'm already accustomed to cramped quarters and temperamental birds.
We both have our orders. I have no interest in interfering with you as long as you do not interfere with me.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi? Aren't we popular? Take care at Hisongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Eothas blundered in. And take care with your trading company spies.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's speak. While we have the chance. Your coming is a favorable omen already. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked. Ikera, to patch a hull or stitch a sail is costly when supplies come from distant islands. The city has honest work for those in need, I say, and insists that everyone carry a heavy purse. I am Onikaza's shield. For a time, let it suffice that we speak with the same authority. My sister and I both value action over fine words. If you can shoulder some of our royal burdens, I know she would be grateful. After the sorry display we have put on, you have every right to be curious. Have on, then. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Neketa has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Neketa tests our traditions, I say. Ikera, speak on, I say. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a lot. But Akira, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Quite so, Maya. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Juana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. While you are in Neketa, maybe you are interested in making yourself useful. My sister keeps a tight grip on Neketa, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Raparu for their silence? Take this if you need proof. An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Neketa. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Neketa has a pirate problem. Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city.
You think pirates raiding those Republic's bastards be the source of your people's agony? Wonder what the Gullet folk would be thinking of that.
Anyone who preys on my people will know Onikaza's justice in time, I say. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city. Yours is not a face that others will recognize. Let no one learn that you work for the crown. When you travel down the mountain, seek Tekehu in Pariki's overlook. He is a godlike, one who the people look to for hope. Ngati's chosen knows of our troubles. He could also use a lesson in Raparu modesty. Tekehu was touched by the goddess Ngati at birth. He is as much a creature of the sea as he is Hawana. We are left to interpret what the goddess intends by sending him among us. Slums. This is not a word we use. The gullet is Neketaka as much as this palace is. You have seen the beautiful gardens. Now familiarize yourself with the common soil. Be on your guard if you choose to go.
Boy?
I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, birdie. Hey, birdie.
That'll go right to his head. Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Terror is a kind of loyalty, as my first captain always said. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Ask me again when I'm wearing the big hat. That'll be a different Maya. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain.
Leave it to me.
Incense? Offerings for the
Payment
temple?
for heads. It could be no simpler, I say.
Supplies! Get your supplies here!
So you defeated this ship-devouring beast all by yourself?
I'm telling you, you just have to aim for the eyes.
Halt! What is your business at the Brass Citadel? You're the Watcher. The one who nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth. The Grand Secretary at Sura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs. Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right. Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters, but I am sure she will grant you an audience.
Sails unfurled and sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done, Emiani. Report to Wakoyo
Why does your
Nui
Ranga
when your
carve his
hands
name
and
into a
your
rock?
temper have healed.
The Ranga Nui, and it's a commemoration.
The former Lord of Cadnua, and one-time Terrifier of Harbor Masters. If dockside tales are to be believed. You have not brought much good news. So, in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters? Just what the archipelago needs. One more disaster tugging at the seams. He must be stopped. If there were help to be found at the palace, do you think Deadfire would be such a mess? The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much. No one takes charge to solve the big problems. But perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit. Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Andra's mortar. It's largely free of rough weather. Yet much of it is uninhabited. Itinerant It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be, with well-guarded shipping routes. How many Rauataians we could feed with plantations here. If you're chasing the god who's stomping this place into the ground, and if you're going to survive here, then you could use an ally. The disaster that's on hold until you investigate. Short of that, there are other matters that demand attention. Atsura, our Grand Secretary, has a plan. His office is downstairs. He can tell you more.
Not a problem.
They weren't that bad.
Rhyming Hazanui with Kablooey?
I can't think of anything else that goes with Hazanui.
Me neither. That's why I leave epics to the lore college.
Criticism is easier than creation.
Watcher Nui, the Lord of Cadnua. I'm not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style. You are most canny. But I think we can do plenty for each other. Rauatai has long maintained trade interests in the region. While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here. That is a Valian frivolity. Leave it to them to observe a substance that occurs nowhere else on Aora, and immediately set about pulverizing it for profit. Nothing. We know too little about luminous Adra to understand the consequences of ripping it out. Perhaps you can help me keep them from doing more harm. We are powerful allies with a formidable fleet and mighty cannons. I'm sure we can come to a suitable arrangement. The demand for luminous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold, and their officers too greedy. Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Juana tribes. But you can curtail their growth. The Valians have sent an expedition to Pococahara, a storm-wrecked island believed to house a vein of luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the luminous Adra near Port Mage. If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite. Find the luminous Adra at Pococahara. Render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have, rather than reaching for more. Because governors like Clario are a rare breed. Most of the Valian administrators care little for the well-being of the Juana. If the Valians claim Pococahara, it is the locals who will truly suffer. Deeply. But if a small sacrifice here will discourage the Valians from further ventures, then it is a worthwhile risk. Deadfire is a tumultuous place. Consider the value of an ally with ships, cannons, and the backing of a great empire. I do not have the precise location of Pococahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there. Now, what else can I do for you? It's a trading post, of course. Anything worth building is worth protecting. How do you mean that? Are you making advances at me? It's for the best. This would be a most inconvenient time to begin an attachment.
Need a hand? Can do.
Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet with you.
Need a hand?